Hello, James from Become HVT here, and this is my very first Guild Wars 2 build video. This is not the engineer. We're going to be talking about the engineer today. This is my thief. I just wanted to show you the cast characters I have at the bottom of the screen. I got an 80 thief, Mesmer, Elementalist. I'm definitely going to make an Elementalist video soon because it is probably my second favorite class. I was able to off-heal and do massive DPS with this class. And just the utility of this class, I really enjoyed it a lot. So I can't wait to play this one again. I kind of took a break from the LE and been playing the engineer a lot lately. I've been playing this game since early access. Actually, I think it was 1 week of early access, maybe a weekend. And I took like a year off, and last August for the 2-year anniversary got heavily back into it and just been enjoying this game like crazy. So let's get to the engineer. I recently redid his entire appearance. He used to be darker. I made him, white with the blue hair, and loved the outfit and the appearance so much. I was like, I gotta play this class more because I had this guy up to level 50, and then kind of just lost interest. I found it very difficult to play the engineer, and it is one of those classes that takes a little bit of finesse. So I'm hoping this video will be able to take somebody who maybe is just getting used to the engineer or doesn't know whether or not they want to play the engineer and just show you how to be extremely successful with the engineer. Because the way I have this build set up as a DPS condition damage build, you're very hard to be taken down. I mean, I'm mostly PvE. I don't really do a lot of PvP. But I've been able to take on champions by myself with this character. I mean, not quickly. It might take 10 minutes. But I'll be able to take them down on my own. So let's jump right into it, and let's go take a look at this build. And I'll see you back in a second after this loads. So here we are in the Commodore's quarters of the new Lion's Arch. I love what they did with Lion's Arch and how they remade everything. My favorite spot, I think, right now is the lighthouse. I love how you can go to the very top of it. If you haven't done that yet in this game, you owe it to yourself to go do it. It's incredible. So I got on this character the Imperial outfit. I had originally bought this for my Mesmer, and I'll show a picture of that here in post. But when I put it on this character, it just made everything kind of come together for me. I was like, man, it looks so cool. I got to play this guy more often and learn how to play the engineer. I love classes that are very difficult to play, and I felt like this one kind of was. And if you're like me and you like that struggle, but the big reward, I mean, it definitely pays off. So I'll show you how right now. For the first specialization, I did explosives. I think that this is definitely the most beneficial. So if you're just getting started as an engineer, put some points in explosives first. Trust me, it'll pay off. The first thing that it comes with is the evasive powder keg. Every time you dodge, you're going to leave a bomb behind. You're going to be doing a lot of dodging. I didn't even think that I would. On my other characters, I don't really do it so much. Because I don't really have to. I play a lot of distance characters, ranged characters. So I didn't know how handy this would be. It is invaluable. I've killed more enemies using this than I thought I would. For the next perk down the line, I use Grenadier to increase the throw velocity and blast radius of grenades. Now, there was another one on here. Here. Glass cannon. Increased damage when above the health threshold, which is 90% health. I find that I'm almost never above 90% health, and it's only a 5% increase. So that pretty much made that one null and void. So you get a bigger blast radius, and you throw the grenades faster. It's massively handy. Right down the line from that, steel-packed powder. You're going to cause vulnerability with explosions, and so you're going to cause vulnerability with explosions, and you're going to be using for this particular build the grenade kit predominantly, and I'll explain why as soon as I finish the first specialization. The next perk that we're going to use is aim assisted rocket. There's you could go with the one here that deals more damage to targets with vulnerability. That would come in crazy handy also because you're going to have vulnerability in these targets almost immediately. As soon as you throw that first grenade, they're vulnerable. So you'd get an added 5% bonus damage. But I decided to go with aim assist rocket because it does have a 33% chance of firing, which might seem a little low, but it fires more often than you think. Pretty much every time I fight anything, it goes off at least once or twice. And it does a pretty good amount of damage. It does 713 damage and adds more vulnerability. So it's always helpful. After that is the explosive powder, which improves damage from explosions, turrets explode, and knock back foes when they're destroyed. It increases damage by 10%. Can't argue with that. And it's a static perk, so can't change it either. And the last one, shrapnel. Explosions have a chance to cripple and cause bleeding. I don't even think I need to explain how awesome that is. You're going to now not only put vulnerability, you're going to put bleed on targets, and you're going to slow them down with cripple. And this isn't even like a, what do you call it? This isn't even like critical hits have a chance to cause it. This is like any hit in general is going to cause it. So, I mean, when you max out this perk tree, you're going to see a huge difference as soon as you get that bleed in there. And if you have some condition damage on the side, you're going to see that these targets just drop. After that, I chose Firearms because I really wanted to get into the critical hits, because there's a lot you can do in here with critical hits. The first one, sharpshooter. Critical hits have a chance to cause bleed. You're going to be stacking bleed on this because this doesn't have to necessarily do with rifles, even though it's called sharpshooter. It's just critical hits in general. And the way I have this build set up, and I'll go into my gear in a second, you're going to be just doing critical hit after critical hit. I have like a 60% critical hit chance, so every time I do anything, critical hit. And I'm just stacking bleeds, and I'm stacking vulnerability, and I'm stacking cripple. So nothing can really even catch me. Right after that, I have heavy armor exploits, so your critical hits have a chance to give you swiftness and apply vulnerability to your foe. So I'm applying more vulnerability and pretty much never attacking a target that isn't vulnerable. And I have swiftness, so not only are they crippled, I'm now moving faster. So it makes a really ideal situation for survivability. The next static perk is you have increased chance to critically strike against bleeding foes. Well, we already saw that we're going to be applying a lot of bleeding, so you have another 10% bonus chance to apply to critically hit, which is just amazing. Pinpoint distribution. You gain condition damage based on your precision. There's two right here in this category. Originally, I had this one, no scope. Critical hits on foes within the target threshold have a chance to grant Fury. And Fury gives you a 20% critical strike chance. That was what I was using for a long time because you are going to be in the fray. Like I said, you're going to be dodging a lot. But my opening strikes weren't giving me the 20% chance because things are usually outside of the 240 range threshold. It's a very small threshold. You're going to have to be right on top of these enemies. And I didn't really dig that too much. So I found that I actually found a way to work around that. And I'll get to that because it's going to be in the next specialization. So I'm going to go with pinpoint distribution to get that extra critical condition damage. Extra condition damage bonus. Right after that, the next static perk that we have is bleeds you cause lasts longer. You can't really argue with that one. It's going to be a great perk to have, and it's static. We can't change it. Incendiary power. Burning you apply lasts longer, and your critical hits inflict burning. If you make this build the way I have it set up, like I said, I'm critting almost 60, maybe more, 60% of the time. And I'm applying burning, bleeding, cripple, vulnerability every time I throw out my bombs. I have just a trail of bombs behind me. I'm just stacking these conditions on my enemies. The last one is Inventions. And there's a reason we're going to do that. It's not really so much for the static perks. I didn't really dig them too much. Like Cleansing Synergy, using a healing skill triggers a cleansing pulse around you. It removes one condition. It's all right. Smoke bomb. I didn't really care too much for this one either, but if you are ever incapacitated, you'll put out a smoke bomb, blind the foe, and cause vulnerability. Heal resonator. When you use a healing skill, you apply regeneration to nearby allies. I mean, it's always helpful, but that's not really why I took this this path. This is, though, experimental turrets. Turrets apply boons to allies around them. Now here's my workaround with that Fury application. I really like that 20% boost to critical hit chance. And like I said, like you saw up here, we were getting rid of the no scope and we were going with condition damage. So if we throw experimental turrets on, and you can see down here in my hotbar, I have the rifle turret that grants 5 seconds of fury. That grants 5 seconds of fury, which as soon as it expires, it just reapplies it. So if you throw down that turret, just stand around it, near it, you now have that plus 20% bonus and the condition damage from the perk that we took up here, the pinpoint distribution. Next down the line, energy amplifier. Your healing power is increased when you have regeneration. I mean, that's cool. Not super helpful, but I mean, I'm sure it'll come in handy as far as survivability goes. There's been a couple of hairy situations that I'm probably glad I had that, but I didn't really even notice it. The last one. Wow, is this amazingly helpful. Bunker down. Create a proximity mine and a med kit at your location when you critically hit with an attack. Incredible, because you're going to be backing up a lot, and as you're backing up, you're going to be throwing bombs, hitting targets. They're now walking into your mines, plus getting blown up by your targets. The explosions cause vulnerability and bleeding, and then if it critically hits, you're causing burning. You were just a condition damage machine. It's amazing. I cannot wait to show you some footage of this. But first, let's back up a little bit, and we'll go to my equipment. So for equipment, I have Rampages pretty much down the board, all Rampages, and for the runes, I have Superior Rune of Balthazar, which gives you more condition damage, increases the burning duration, grants quickness if you're hit when you're struck below 20% health. I don't like to ever really be down around 20% health, so I don't really pay too much attention to that. But when you use a healing skill, nearby foes are burned for 3 seconds. You're just stacking more burning onto them. It's awesome. You're just burning and bleeding and crippling and making everything around you vulnerable. It's unbelievable. You're pretty much unstoppable. For my weapon, I choose a rifle. On it, I have Superior Signal of Intelligence. Your next 3 attacks after swapping to this weapon while in combat have a 100% critical chance. 3 attacks in a row. Every time you use a kit and hop back onto your rifle, that counts as re-equipping the rifle. You have another 3 critical strike chance. The cool thing about being an engineer is now watch the bottom of my screen. I'm going to go from the bomb kit back to the rifle kit. I'm going to hop on, oh, wrong button. I'm going to hop on here on the Elixir gun, hop back off the Elixir gun back on the rifle, back on the grenades, back off the grenades onto the rifle. You can just continually get 3 critical strikes for free, pretty much just constantly if you were to just keep that rotation going. For the rings, I got a coral ring to add more precision. If you can see, look up here. See, right now, unbuffed with anything, I have a 56% chance to crit. That's good. I'm very happy with that. That's pretty much where I want to stay. I have a couple rings here that you can see are green. I need to upgrade these to get them yellow or possibly even orange. And when I do, I think I'm going to switch these for more condition damage, because my condition damage right now is at 1,136, and it's very good, but I know I can get it better, and I think I'm going to see a huge difference in combat with a little bit higher condition. I'm very happy with the critical hits that I'm doing right now. So with all that being said, I'm going to shoot right over into some gameplay, and you're going to get to see this build in action. All right, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so as I said earlier, we're going to be using the grenade kit, which is going to be causing you to do a lot of ground targeting. Now, I was terrible at ground targeting until I decided to pick this class up, and I've gotten really good at it lately. You can do a quick target where you would just be right where the cursor is. If I were to hit one, it would just throw the grenade right there. I don't like using that. I like seeing where I'm throwing the grenade, and I'll show you why in a second, because I do a lot of versatile camera movement in order to see where my enemy is, and I usually like to lump a whole bunch of enemies together and get that good AoE damage. So I'm going to show you that right now with this elemental and the elemental that's just a little bit past him in the distance. I'm going to try to grab them both and take them both down at the same time. So just as I run past, I'm going to piss this guy off a little bit, do a little roll to drop my bomb behind me, grab this guy, and then backtrack a little bit. Now that they're together, I can just start pretty much smashing 1 and 2 and just down them both really quick. You run in a circle around them. It takes them a second to reacquire you as a target when they have to constantly turn. That comes in very handy. And you can just see how easy it is. As they're running at you, just hit 1 and 2. You can stack up some. Look at the amount of conditions I put on that character so fast. Now, granted, I get that I'm level 80, and they're significantly lower than I am. I mean, I'm down right here to level 54. I'm down level 2. And I get that I'm out-leveling them a bit. But I wanted to show you how well this class can work in a controlled environment. This works just as well going up against level 80s. I guarantee it. In fact, I'm going to go up against this champion Ram right here, and me and this Ram are going to have a good time. So let me just throw in some food real quick to steal some health, just to be on the safe side. And rest assured, if this goes poorly, you won't ever be seeing this video. Come on, Ram. Now, I just also popped some poison on the Ram as well. And if he starts getting a little bit too close, drop your ice, do a little spin maneuver, and he's walking right over the top of your bombs. And he's walking over the top of your dodged bombs, and your landmines, and your bombs. There's just too many explosions for him to try to keep up with, and you're just going to down this character really fast. In fact, let me just throw a flame turret as well, so I get that extra crit chance. And now look at all the crits that I'm doing without even trying, just standing there. Another poison. And you can see I'm keeping him well within range, and he just can't get a hold on me because I keep moving around. I don't even know if he's done any damage to me at all yet. Well, he did some damage right there, but that's okay. We can work around it. You just saw the rocket just fired out there and did quite a hefty bit of damage to him. Now, this is just me doing to a single target, and I might edit this for time because you can tell I'm doing the damage, but it's not really that fast. I don't want to waste your guys' time when I can get to some more interesting gameplay of grabbing groups. I was able to grab some footage yesterday of some group encounters while I was still trying to level to 80. And then the footage came out pretty good, and I want to share it with you guys because it shows that this character can just really easily grab a whole bunch of mobs and down them with relative ease without really having to worry about too much of anything. And does this get repetitive? A little bit. I'm just walking around to the right a lot and mashing them one button because you can't auto attack with this. But there's also some, I don't know, just excitement about being able to take down a champion like this by yourself and do a lot of finger work. You're doing a lot of creative movement. You have to really pay attention to what you're doing. I was able to, with the help of one Mesmer, we took down the champion Etten yesterday. And, it was just me and the Mesmer, and it got a little hairy because if you're familiar with that champion at all, there's 2 veteran Ettens that spawn right around it. So it got a little dicey, but we were able to take it down. And that's one of the real benefits of this class. You're very versatile. I didn't even have to touch my heal skill this entire time because just being around this thing and doing the damage I was doing, I ended up healing myself enough that I didn't even need to rely on my healing skill. I didn't even really need to rely on the Elixir gun, which I haven't even spoke about yet. And I'll do that right now real quick. So let's go find ourselves an enemy and talk about this Elixir gun. For the number 1 on the hotbar for it is a tranquilizing dart. You're going to add bleed and weakness to a foe. It's just more vulnerable. What do you call it? Just more. Well, I'm going to say vulnerability because you have C here in your hotbar. You throw out some of these grenades, you're going to add vulnerability. Then on top of that, you're going to be able to add weakness and bleed. The second one, Elixir F, grants swiftness to you and cripple to the enemy. It's always helpful. The third one is going to fire some poison gas clouds onto it and add 5 stacks of poison and vulnerability. The acid bomb, leap backwards, spraying acidic elixir on the ground and damaging nearby foes. That's also a combat finisher, a combo finisher, and it's a blast finisher, which goes right along with the super elixir. Launch an elixir orb, healing allies on impact, and creating an area of continual healing. So that's going to come in handy. I'm just going to do it right here. You're not going to see any healing done because I'm not damaged. But if I were to put that right here, and then hit that one, you just did a blast finisher for healing, and everybody in that area is going to really benefit from that. But real fast, let me just show you this in action. Just now I got another critical, fired that rocket. My criticals are still dropping the landmines behind me, and I was able to down the enemies extremely fast. I didn't even get a chance to use the cripple there. So now I crippled it, I'm just going to back up, do my regular stock damage, let it walk over my landmine, and it's down. This class, this build has such incredible versatility. Just grab a couple more, and I'm going to show you right in the middle of the combat. I'm just going to swap to the grenade pouch, the grenade kit, and just finish these guys off real fast. Easy peasy. And this works on enemies throughout the entire game. So if you're new to the engineer and it's a little bit overwhelming, trust me, I was in your shoes. This is like the second character I made, maybe the third character. And I really liked the character, but I couldn't get into it. It was just, I just couldn't sync up with the way the style of the character needed to be played. If you go the way that I went, like this, you're going to have an easy time leveling. It's going to get you used to ground targeting, which is going to come in very handy also if you make a necromancer ever. I didn't talk about it, but for the heal skill, I'm experimenting right now with the healing turret. I was for a very long time using the Elixir H, but very recently I've been just rethinking how I want to play this class, and I think I want to go with the healing turret because I'm thinking about making this character a DPS machine with all the condition damage, and then adding on some healing to it for group runs and stuff like that. So, just real quick before I finish here, supply crate is what I use for an elite skill. I find it so monumentally helpful to be able to throw down those turrets because you're going to get some bonuses from the turrets because it drops a few different kinds and you're going to get some bonuses from them, but you're also going to grab the attention of whatever you're fighting. So if I was in trouble with that champion up top there, the champion ram, I could have just dropped this. It would have diverted its attention onto the turrets, off of me, giving me time to get away and throw some more bombs on and do some more damage. So, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more. I definitely want to do some more with the engineer, maybe go over the class in a little bit more detail. I want to do an Ellie video. I love my hunter. I might do a hunter video and definitely a thief video. Oh, we got some company, so let's just... what are you doing, guy? Come on. You see all the corpses of your dead friends? Oh, just fall down. Alright, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I really hope this was helpful and this will help you get into the engineer a little bit more. I couldn't really find a video that explained it in a way that I understood, so I just figured why not go ahead and make one. If I did speak too fast, I'm sorry about that. This is my first build video, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to do them better as I refine my style a little bit. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. And I'll see you next time on Become HVT.